have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla. Wake up, everyone! There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe enough. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? All you crazy kaiju kids and happening henshin heroes and heroines. Greetings from Monster Island. Hopefully your go-to source for everything that is kaiju, from films to fandom, television to toys. We are here for you. I think we have more kaiju talk per capita than any other island-based podcast on the information superhighway. I am Jakey, and I'm joined by two very special guests. In fact, if you're watching us on YouTube, you're like, whoa, what's going on? Where's the tattooed Titan of Tokusatsu? But as you guys may know, there was some bad weather on the coast recently. I mean, our thoughts go out to everybody that's been impacted by the hurricane. And unfortunately, the tattooed Titan of Tokusatsu makes his summer residence in Valdosta, Georgia, which was hit really hard. And I encourage everybody to go check out Jake's Instagram to see kind of how that impacted him. He did get his power on today, which is awesome. But he is still sans internet. So I did call in a favor to a couple of my good buddies to help us out because we want to get some content to you, our loyal, wonderful, handsome, beautiful, intelligent viewers and listeners. And yeah, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my boys here. We know him a little bit. You know, he's a guy that like kind of pops in and pops out. But he is everybody's favorite kaiju collector up there in Denton County, Texas. Mr. Ron Wilhelm, how's it going, dude?
Hey, Jay, Chaz, gentlemen. Happy Wednesday, I believe it is.
It is Wednesday.
Hope you guys are well. Thank you for having me this evening.
Yeah.
And pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Ryan. And of course, joining us, my co-conspirator in all the goodness that is Kaiju Go, a talented artist, a talented toy maker. We'll talk about that later. He is coming from the nurturing biosphere of Decatur, Texas. For all you folks out there, Decatur is there's not a lot going on in Decatur except for really, really good vinyl toy making and designing. And that, of course, is our good buddy, Chaz. How's it going, Chaz?
Yeehaw, Jay. I'm just flooding it down here in the sticks. You know, small town vibes out here.
Yeah. I mean, you do fill our country bumpkin quota here at on the island. It is awesome to have you on here. I think you haven't been on since the Kaiju Go info release dump on back on January 1st.
Yeah.
Holy buckets, man.
Glad to bring the bumpkin back to the podcast.
Dude, I mean, seriously, like you shouldn't wait 10 months. Like if Wilhelm gets to come on every month or so, you should
come say, hey, man,
every quarter.
Love it.
But yeah, we are very sad that Jake's not here. I know Jake's actually working on some guests coming up for YHS and Monster Island. And we don't do guest shows a lot, but really excited to get these two cats on when they absolutely can sign the dotted line and come join. And then we're also working on another one, all of it related to toys and all with amazing artists that you will know, you will love. So we're really excited about that. But today we promised the viewers months ago, pre-Kaiju Go, we did a poll online. We had like 100 people give their opinions. And they said they wanted to hear what Ryan Wilhelm and I talk about Gappa. So we're going to talk Gappa. Yeah. But we had some other things that kind of happened over the last few weeks, including a little thing called SuperFestival that we want to talk about that. I know these guys have pickups because every day they have a pickup. And Chaz, you got 10 months of pickups to go through. So that's going to take a while. This might be like a lecture series of podcasts. But and then we have a ton of toys. We have a ton of toy news. We have a lot of non-Superfest drops, reveals. Some are pretty awesome. So I'm really excited to talk about that. And then, of course, any other stuff we got going on. But with that, guys, I got to ask you the first question. I think it's always interesting. what have you guys been watching? What media has been drawing you in and taking up your precious time with its wacky giant rubber suited monsters?
Captain Underpants. That's the correct answer, right?
Sure.
All kidding aside,
I was thinking Still Magnolias, but
I have been watching Captain Underpants with my 5-year-old. But all kidding aside, I've been really captivated with the Mr. McMahon documentary. That's kaiju adjacent, I suppose, in some hemispheres you could argue, maybe, possibly.
I don't know. Gobbledygooker? I don't know.
It's a bit of a stretch, but yeah, you know, so that's been taking up the majority of my time. What about you, Chaz?
Okay. So based on Jay and Jake's recommendation, I jumped into Neo Ultra Q.
Ooh, nice.
And completely agreed with their assessment. Spot on for my thoughts and what episodes I enjoyed and which ones I didn't. So thanks for that recommendation.
We try.
You did a great job. And then there's remind me of what this is called. Such a long name. Ultra Galaxy Battle.
The Mega Monster Battle, whatever one that one.
Yes, I can't remember what it is, but it's got Ray and his Gamora fighting everybody all the time in it. But and then lastly, I found a really fun thing on Tubi the other night called King Kong and Friends. It's just
I've never heard of that.
Of old ape and dinosaur movies from the 20s, you know, through the maybe 70s or something like that. Really cool, just trailer compilation to watch.
I love a good trailer compilation.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Tubi is like a gold mine now. I mean, it has like so much of the SRS stuff, so much, almost a little bit of everything, and you'll find the kind of the wacky stuff in there as well. Like I kind of go to Tubi first, like when I'm like, if I'm not, you know, I'm on YouTube probably first, and then it's like I'll go to Tubi see if there's anything I can like discover. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, this looks great. So yeah, that's awesome. And if it has anything to do with apes and primates and monkeys, I mean, we know it's your thing, man. I mean, look behind you.
Yeah,
you have a beautiful duct tape piece of art for Bangkok. I mean, it's like one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Well, here's a little tip on Tubi. Go to the search and type in just something like Harryhausen, and you'll get some amazing things, including puppet shows and stuff that you didn't know that he was involved in. So, and it just keeps spiraling into more greatness. So,
oh man, I'm know what I'm doing tonight. Yes. So I haven't been watching too. I've been watching a little bit of Ultraman Ace as I kind of go back to going through the Showa series again. And honestly, there's some episodes in Ace that I totally forgot I've ever seen. Like, I mean, maybe I haven't. I was like, I skipped over them way back when. And it's a little uneven for me. I don't love Ace as much. And it was funny. I was watching it and I was editing your interview with Mark and Max Nagata, Ryan, from Kaiju Go. And I know Mark mentioned he loves Ace. He does, how weird and whatever it is. And there's parts of it I do like. There's episodes that are really, 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 really good. But then there's some that I'm just like, wow, even in like early Ultra stuff, these are some clunkers. I don't know. I still, you know, where I'm at right now, I'm only like 15 or 20 episodes in. So I'm still like, it's still the two of them. And I don't know, maybe like the two people becoming Ultraman Ace throws me off. I don't know. But I don't know. It's not my favorite. Love some of the monsters. Some of the kaiju the choju are great. The terrible monsters, and I like the Yapul storyline and everything. But just something about it hasn't just grabbed me as much as like an Ultra 7 or even like Return when it's rocking and rolling and Hideki Go is just like killing it. Like I don't know. I'd never have hit that like stride with Ace. Though, like I said, some of the choju are really, really cool. No. And then the other thing that I rewatched, I think Jake and I will probably talk about it on the show because we've mentioned it so much and it was on our short list. So we both are huge fans of Daimajin, and I don't know if Jake has seen or he hasn't seen in a while the second and third one. And I rewatched them, and I've always been a super duper fan of the first one. The second one, and it's the same freaking movie as the first one, just not as good. And then the third one, I used to be like, oh yeah, it's the most entertaining of all three. And I rewatched it today, and I didn't like it that much as compared to the first one. I love the first one.
The first one is flawless.
It's such a good film. And the second one, literally every story beat is the same. But of course, when you film 3 movies at the same time with 3 different directors, that's obviously a possibility. Yeah. But I'm excited to hear Jake's opinions on the second and third one. Like I said, the first one I think does everything the second one does, but better. And then the third one, to me, like, it's good. And I can see why people are like, this is actually my favorite one. It's different. I see it, but for me, there's something, the kid adventure, Stand By Me, Goonies type thing. To me, it doesn't work as much. And I don't know, but him as a Monsters Imagine, love it. Some of the work from Dai, like the special effects work, is so good. It's so good. Yeah, it's great, and I don't know. I'm sure it's on Tubi too now. I don't know, but it's
it probably is.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about it because I think that's one that it's by no means like a hidden gem. I think it's one that most people in the kaiju community are aware of and have opinions on. But it's one that I don't think, like, when we're sitting around having a beer, having a cup of coffee, like we're talking about stuff, I don't think we talk about it too much. I don't know. I mean, there's great toys. There's really solid good toys. I mean, I don't know. There's something about it. And I guess, there's not as much set in feudal Japan that are older stuff with this, because so much of it has to do with, like, we screwed up, whether it's pollution or atomic energy or whatever to cause these things to happen. Yeah, I know, or both, or all the above. Yeah. And I love that, going back to that. But then, of course, as I'm watching it, especially by the time if you do 3 in a row, by I get to the third one, I'm just like, could we do Daimajin against Takemajin from Gilala too? Like, that would be that would be an awesome tag team. They could go out and they could, like, tag team against, like, Gilala and somebody else. Like, where is that? I mean, I know licensing be damned, but I mean, Katakawa has huge budgets or huge pockets. They could do that. But I was like, who is my favorite Majin in a kaiju film? And I don't know. I mean, Daimajin is scarier. He's cooler looking. Takemajin has a better dance, and he can stop a rocket with his butt. So I don't know. It's a tough one.
Him with King Caesar as a tag team buddy would kind of fit appropriately.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Daimajin just shows up at different places. Why can't he go to Okinawa? I mean, why not? And it's like, no, I'm the best guard. No, I'm the best guard. No, it would be great.
They both turn into statues. Yeah.
I know, right?
What's that Pokemon move called? Like resist or something?
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm glad you guys are getting. Well, not you, Ryan. I'm glad you, Chaz, are getting to watch actually really good tokusatsu.
Yeah,
stuff.
I've dropped the ball.
As this one up here tries to somehow say that Mr. McMahon documentary is kaiju film.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean,
it's been a crazy week.
But let's chat. Let's transition over. I know why people watch us. They want to know what we've been picking up. They want to know our opinions on what we've been picking up, so they can go, you know what? I need to go find that because it's great. You know what podcast you're on this week, man? I
forget.
I know. You're supposed to be on your wrestling podcast and then your, toy collecting podcast. No, this is the kaiju one. Didn't you listen to the intro? Come on, dude. And like I said, our goal here is, like, to show you, like, hey, we bought it, we really like it, or it's not that good, to save you some money and some time and some headaches. That's really, Jake and I do this all altruistically. Like, we just do it out of the goodness of our hearts. We don't even like this stuff. We're just kind of like the, consumer reports. But I got some pickups. I'm hoping you guys are bringing some heat as well. All right.
Pickups.
Alrighty, Ryan. I'm going to give you the first shot to go first, Ryan, just because you need to, man. You need to redeem yourself. So let's see what you got, bro.
Okay, so if I'm redeeming myself, I'm going to start with the one, the only, Mark Nagata and Kitty Cats.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean this guy? No.
Classic sofubi goodness, right?
That's great.
Translucent
so
red
good.
vinyl. Yeah, I mean, it's so good, man. It's so good.
You know, I wish more artists would do this. Like,
We
I
were
know people are
talking
like,
about
oh,
that.
it's, you know, they're not saying this about Mark, but I could see some
Right.
people saying like, oh, I would never do that. Like, you know, whatever. It's the art that's for not me or whatever. But you know what? Like, as a, you know, when you get into designer vinyl or art toys, like it's design. I'm buying stuff not because it's, you know, it's Captain Max. I'm buying it because it is a Mark Nagata creation or it's painted by Mark or Max Nagata.
Exactly.
I'm buying their Ultra stuff not because I just want to collect Ultraman stuff. It's because I like what they do. And like I would love. I mean, I would love to have. Okay, here's my Mark Nagata next to my Mike and Tracy from Maggitarius, next to my Wonder Goblin, one, you know, whatever it might be, right?
Octeel.
I mean, everybody gets one, you know, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a cool thing. And as a fan of this, like, it doesn't feel weird to me at all, but I love it. And also the design is great. I forgot the lady that sculpted this, but she did a wonderful job.
I can't recall her name right now either, but yeah, she did a great job. It's such a fun toy. David would say whimsical, I'm sure, but like it's just really charming, you know, and it's cool. Goes right at home with my growing Max toy shelf that I didn't know I needed, and now I have started. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, and then the next thing is the Max toy shelves, and then
plural.
Area.
I see that coming.
Yeah,
this stuff is on the way, so it's bad.
What else you got, man?
Okay, so thanks to our friend Jessica Etchels, I was able to pick up an M1 gold flying Ultraman.
That is beautiful.
Wow, what's the scale of that?
I mean, it's a solid ruler.
It's even longer. Wow,
beautiful piece though.
Who made that?
M1.
Is it M1? Okay.
Yeah. So Jessica posted, "Does anyone need anything?" And I was like, "I need to know about that Ultraman, please."
Yeah, that's gorgeous, dude.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very happy to have this.
You should mount that on a hunk of wood,
right?
Mahogany or something. Looked like a trophy.
Right.
Good friend Ed
Miller.
I did a trade with Ed Miller of Rip City Kaiju.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Ooh, I got a secret base. So I've wanted one of these for a hot minute. Earlier we were talking about stuff leaving the collection and stuff, right? This is one that will not be. Very, very cool. I love Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
And the Mechagodzilla inside this guy is very quality.
And Dallas Cowboys colors.
I know, I was about to say.
MG on the back, like that's just baby.
That's a cool piece. I mean, you guys know me, like I will fight to the death to defend my secret base. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's one of those things like I wanted it, you know, when you finally get a good price, and then at least for me, it was one of those that it shows up and you're like, nope, this is mine. Like this was meant to be here. And it's a really cool feeling when that happens.
And even cooler, he was down to do a trade. So like, I know what these can go for, you know? So, I mean, it's a cool deal. So
very cool.
Check out Rip City Kaiju, Ed Miller, good guy.
Nice.
And everything else, man, is in transit right now. So like,
no, that's awesome, dude.
I have some cool stuff coming, but it's just not here yet.
I mean, that M1 in a secret base. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
And your Ned Flanders, like.
I mean, and the Ned Flanders, you know, like, just killing it over here, guys. Killing it. But I want to see what Chaz has. So, Chaz, what do you have?
Hey, put you on the big screen, bud.
Well, I did pick a couple of pieces with each of you in mind. So I'll start with Mr. Wilhelm. And this is a recent pickup, and it's a Gigan.
Yes.
Because I often think about you and also Mr. Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah.
When I think of Gigan. And this is a Marmot candy container.
Love it.
With a little bit of translucent. I don't know.
Yeah, you can totally see.
Yeah. But really love that piece. And as you know, or may not know, but this is kind of my latest addiction and obsession right now are candy containers, banks, anything that's got limited movement, more statuesque style, but in
More
vinyl.
presence. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I love that piece. Gigan, I think because of like the belly and the like everything is perfectly shaped for.
He's rotund.
Yeah, like the candy container. Yeah, he looks perfect. That's a great piece, man.
That's awesome.
And for Jay, because of he loves Dustman,
Yes,
Spectre Man, and all those characters so much. I've got original 1970s Mazadaya.
Oh my gosh, I love that one so much.
And
look at him.
So, look at, also, I'm into vintage, and I don't think there's anything better than something that's got a little bit of love shown on it, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of grit. I love the dirty. I love the gritty. I'm a dirty boy. And that is just for me thinking about Jay with this.
I don't know. But that is, first off, it's awesome. I love Dustman. I can literally, like, when I see it, I can just hear him. I'm a man, not a monster. Like, it's just, you can see it. But that to me is like, not only like you love vintage, but like, just because how Dustman is, like how he is on film, like, or on screen, like, he is kind of that primitive sculpt, that kind of a little bit rough around the edges. And this is like perfect, dude. Oh
yeah. And it's got, obviously it's got some signatures and stuff on the bottom, which you love to see that.
Oh yeah.
One more thing about that episode is some of the best lines in it from the kid, like driving to school or work with his dad, and he says, "Now, Dad," or his dad's driving to work, and he says, "Now, Dad, don't get drunk today," or something like that.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good episode! Maybe I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Yeah.
Those are
the
awesome.
third thing I want to show off is flying in here is Mr. Sun Guts Rodan. And I just picked this up from Tokyo Toy Town this week, and so it is absolutely a fresh piece. And I also love Rodan and collect almost anything appealing that is Rodan. So
I know. I wish Jake was here. He'd be like, "Why? Why do you like Rodan?" Which is always funny to me because, like you, Chaz, like he loves, like, he started the dinosaur stuff, and it's like, yes, I know people will be like, well, actually, pterosaurs aren't dinosaurs. I get that, but prehistoric animals. I don't know. And Sun Guts, I think, is one of my favorite sculpts of Rodan. I love that guy.
It is my favorite. I love that you can get it into the flying pose.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Just a little tweak of the head there.
Yeah,
and then
two figures in one,
Yeah, and he's flying.
Nice.
So, two more. This one just arrived today, and it is a vintage.
Ooh.
I saw your story on that.
Gorilla here from, I believe it's Archon. They make all those die casts. Kaiju, like I got the Baltan as well, and you got a King Ghidorah and Godzilla. But this is also one that they made, and he's got all these kind of these yellow pieces or missile launchers here, and he also converts into like a little vehicle type thing too.
No way.
So, and there's instructions that show you how to change them out, and he's got other types of missiles and stuff that fit in that configuration to shoot. But really cool piece. Had the falls off, but it simply just snaps right back in. But had my eye on this guy for a long time, and finally found a really good deal online for him. So,
what year is that from? Do you know?
I can't tell you exactly, but it's definitely early 70s.
Early 70s, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love the colors on that one.
And this one came with the box and
nice.
Pretty much fully complete. So I can get that info to you later, Jay.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
And then the last thing, as Wilhelm knows, I've been getting some Hedra things lately, and just added this beautiful marmot concept to the collection, and also wearing Octeil shirt today.
You'd love to see it.
Finding that really gravitating toward this character and the sculpt form, really enjoying it, And I was telling Jay this the other day when we had lunch that I had all 3 of my nieces over, and I was asking them what their favorite piece in the collection was. They all gravitated toward this guy. If not this one in particular, it was a Hedera. So that was kind of interesting to me to get that child perspective on what's cool, what's interesting. So,
you know what's interesting? My daughter says the same. She loves the smog monster.
The thing that I found really interesting about this guy is he's super organic looking, as most Hedera sculpts are. But then you flip him around to the back, and you had this extremely detailed and kind of just very articulated tail.
Almost like Giger-esque. I mean, almost like biomechanical or something. Yeah.
It doesn't seem to fit with the rest of them at the same time it does. And I like it. And it's weird. It's kind of unsettling, actually. Yeah. This kind of blobby mess. And then you got this very detailed and formed appendage there. So
it's evolving.
Yeah. That is, it's, I don't know. Something. I think we could have a psychoanalysis on what that one means. Also, the Giger documentary, very good. Another good one. We were talking about documentaries earlier. That's awesome, dude. That's a huge piece. I like that concept much better than the other concept, the one that looks like I drew it.
I had that one as well. I think I took that one.
I think I took that one off your hands. Yeah. that one is much more evolved. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely,
it's refined. Yeah.
Let's see what you got, Jay.
Oh man. Let me throw up on the big screen here. A little bit of everything. A lot of I have a couple like Godzilla specific things that I've been eyeing for a while. One that I would say was not on my top 10 list, but it was probably number 11. So it was right there on the cusp. But the first thing I got has nothing to do with Godzilla. And hell, it has nothing to do with vinyl. These are resin toys, man. I got some resin stuff from now, Chaz, you turned me on to these guys. The guy probably a year or so ago when he was coming out with his beautiful insect sofubi, is like one of his first sofubi stuff. And it's is it Zymod or is it Zymod is how you, okay. So awesome toys. And they do these amazing resin things. And one thing that I was I've always wanted to grab, it's kind of slipped through the cracks. Like there's tons of them. There's lots of colorways and stuff, but I found these colorways that I really liked, and it's his Sphinx ape. Which I absolutely love, and he has different variations of it. So I grabbed one of the little guys, the winged Sphinx ape there. So it's going to be hard to kind of see there, but it's this beautiful metallic with a great, almost like a Nagata-esque spray there. The blends on the metallics are just like absolutely gorgeous. But this is a really cool piece in the translucent wings there. Very cool. But this was the one I really wanted, was the kind of traditional Sphinx ape there in the Sphinx pose. This is made of this like dark, like smoky resin, but it just has so much like rainbow glitter packed in there. Very, very cool. Love the paint job. Love the face. Like it just, it's like a royal monkey turns thing. It's great. It's just great. They do wonderful stuff. His insect sofubi is still one of my favorite pieces that I own. Like I absolutely love it. And the colorway, the chrome rainbow, the one I got, is just stunning. I'm a fan. And he was doing a deal on his site, like 30% off everything. So I was like, okay, I got to buy these. No excuse now. And go check out their stuff. I think it's Zymot Co is their Instagram handle, and their site is easy to navigate. Lots of cool stuff still on there. He has a ton of stuff. So I don't know, huge fan, but I was excited to finally add those to the collection. The other thing I got that just came in, this morning, was, so a couple weeks back I picked up Toys Sandatron. Love that robot sculpt. It's amazing. And I do still need to get a Pizzatron, but I was able to get the one that I just fell in love with the moment I saw it, because I wanted to get the right colorway, and I found one of his Cinematrons. So it is the old movie projector monster. This is done in a kind of a milky semi-translucent vinyl with these cool purple and greens and gold sprays. I mean, he has the movie projector head, and he comes with a little mobile popcorn stand, which is amazing. And Chaz, you're gonna love this. This glows in the dark, so I know you're a huge fan of.
Yeah, you know me.
But I love this guy. He's amazing. So I need to get Pizzatron, and I can have my 3 Trons. The Sandatron literally is, I think, one of my favorite Pachi-style robot sculpts out there. It's so good. But Toys, stellar stuff. Really excited. I know they had some stuff at Kaiju this past week, and that sold out. So really cool stuff. Oh, this guy! Look at this guy.
Yeah, I like the boxy robot
awesome.
one that they did. Which one is that one called?
Sandatron. Yeah,
that is the Sandatron.
Yeah. That's the first one that I got, and I got the first release with almost the classic vintage style box and everything. Oh, it looked so good. It's just so good. The guy he has it down. I would love to see some of his wacky Pachi style robots battle some of your wacky Pachi style kaiju, Chaz. I think it would be really great. I think there's a partnership there. Speaking of amazing artists and talented indie toy makers, one that we know and love and support, they were, even though it was by proxy, they were at Kaiju Go with an amazing selection of toys. I finally picked up from Sagittarius, the Phantosaur, the Tokyo colorway of this guy. So absolutely dig this one. He put about 4 or 5 on the side. I normally don't like things with multiple eyes. It's a weird quirk of mine. I look at my collection. It's I don't have a lot of things with 3 or 4 eyes. This one has 3, and so it's I don't know, maybe it's something wrong with me. Another one of those deep psycho dives we can do. But it also comes with the Tokyo colorway egg. You can put a little baby in. I like him in the baby carrier, much classier. But this is just a beautiful piece. Sagittarius. Mike and Tracy do amazing stuff. The Iraq is one of my favorite ones. I love all of their kappas. I love their gammas. Everything about them is good, but this one is just absolutely stunning. I think they still had 1 or 2 left on the site as of this morning. So if you can't, look at this guy. Look at this little guy. I mean, this is worth the price of admission right here.
Yeah, that colorway really is special. It makes I got the same one at Kaiju Go in the same colorway, and it makes me think of a 1970s drum kit, or and that colorway just really sets those guys. And it's a sizable piece too.
Yeah, it's about 9.5 inches tall. Yeah,
but you're right. They do just incredible stuff, and that's more on the whimsical side of things. They also do some pretty kind of dark, more mythological folklore type stuff too, which is kind of interesting too. So,
they have a wide
good
range.
Mix.
Yeah, they really do. They have their portfolio does span the spectrum. And also smalls and larges, glow in the darks, sofubi gimmick stuff, and then very, kind of cleaner stuff. Yeah, and of course, Tracy has her art that she does, her 2 illustrations and stuff are really good. If you're sleeping on Sagittarius, which I know a lot of our listeners are not, they probably have dude, you have 17 Phantosaurs, stop it. But that is high quality vinyl toy making, and they are some of the best out there, and nice people and wonderful people, and hopefully they'll come back to Kaiju Go because I got to get some more Aracases. Okay, so speaking of indie toys, awesome, really cool stuff. I'm gonna go another one for you, Chaz. That is a Chas Foreman favorite on your short list, I know, of your favorite designers, and that is the uber talented Neil Ewing. Now, I have a couple bombastic plastic toys, but I have the Gordon, and I finally got a Rudy, Chaz. I do have one Rudy, but I have my 2 Gordons, and the rhinos and triceratops for those out there. But Neil Ewing he's a stud, man. I mean, what they do out there is ridiculous. And I was so excited that he put some of these up. I was able to grab one of his Shin Tyrants. So here this bad boy is. Wow. And this is a big piece. It's not fair, but I think of it as the smaller pieces, right? When I think of what Neil Ewing, but this guy is huge. He's 10 inches tall. But it's the classic Neil Ewing style, but done, obviously inspired by Shin Godzilla there. The paint's gorgeous on it. It's just perfect, and it comes with the little sub.
That's cool.
It's an amazing piece. I mean, look at that face. There's just something I don't know. It just works. It just works. But yeah, gorgeous paint job. Gorgeous. And then, staying on the Chaz front, this isn't recommendation from Chaz. This is actually one that he picked up for me. Thank goodness. He was like, hey, Jay, this is available. And speaking of candy cases, speaking of Banks and all his new stuff, this awesome Marmot Anguirus. This also in that candy case style, which I absolutely love. This I love Anguirus. This is one of my favorite interpretations. I mean, I love Marmot. I love Anguirus. I love candy case style, shampoo bottle style, coin banks like Chaz. They don't have that collection he does, but this is one that absolutely is gorgeous. I love the colorway on this one. This kind of like this tan, like light tan, but then they brush it over with a little bit darker and brown spray. Like it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It is. They typically, I mean, of the ones I've seen, they've got the translucent style like this guy again. Mm-hmm. And there's usually one that's in the translucent and one solid color. And so I haven't seen the translucent Anguirus though. And I've got a mix of both of the solid and the translucents of these guys, but the solid's got more of a matte finish to it, which 100%. I really like.
I think that fits Anguirus better. Like I really do. Like Gigan, he's the cybernetic, like the translucent, like works with them. Like Anguirus, I want like the vintage style, the matte, anything like that. And then I think he's a beast of the earth, and I just something about it like connects with the character too, which is another win. Which is amazing. I did get one thing. It wasn't a toy. Godzilla. I don't know. Did any of you guys pick this up? The new Godzilla Encyclopedia, the Nishikawa one. Did you guys pick this up?
Oh no,
I have not.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like on Amazon. It was a pre-order, just came out. It's translated in English. It's so cool. It has every kaiju. I'll pull one up here just so you kind of see what it is. Let's see here. Okay, so here's Mechagodzilla. So it'll have like a 1 or 2 page spread on the kaiju. It's all Nishikawa illustrations. He'll have like himself done as the kaiju or something similar there in the bottom with his comments. It'll have some facts and figures. The facts and figures aren't any like new news to us, but it's a book of like tons of funny kind of illustrations that Nishikawa did. And I mean, look at some of the Bailantes stuff. Like it's gorgeous.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's very cool. So if you like Nishikawa's art, it's a no-brainer, and it's cheap. It's like $20 or something, $30. But I mean, it goes all the way down through. I know it has Singular Point. Yeah, I think it goes through Singular Point from a illustration standpoint. Even has Mechagodzilla City right in there in Mechagodzilla. Look at that from the anime trilogy. But yeah, it's a good, easy pickup, no-brainer. And I have a love-hate with books. I mean, I've written some books, but like I don't. My book collection goes in and it's kind of like Ron Wilhelm's toy collection. I buy so many books and I get rid of them all, and I get more books. I trade them. I'm not like I don't collect them. And so I'm always like, when I get a book that I know that's going to keep it in the collection. Like, it's a good day. It's a good day, and this is definitely one that like I just love flipping through it and looking at some of these illustrations. But do I have anything? Oh, I do. I have 3 things. Okay, so. Max Toy, when I got this guy, you can't go to Max Toy and only buy one thing. I mean, come on, man. You're paying shipping. Might as well get something else. I had to pick up. I got this one just because it's so funny. I love Ultra 7. But this one is the officially licensed, what's his name? I forgot the official name of it is, but this is like the Chief Ultra 7 guy, the chief of Ultra 7 from which is technically a different character. It's Ultra 7's boss from the last episode. No, it wasn't last episode. What episode was it? Anyway, I should know that. But so this is technically, even though the sculpt is identical, it is the separate character. So Chief of Ultra 7 right here. Look at this guy.
Okay.
He's beautiful. I mean, I already have Ultra 7, regular Ultra 7, and to the untrained eye, they are absolutely exactly the same. But hey, they got me in the marketing piece. Officially licensed as a separate character.
How are the eyes done on that one, Jay?
They are. Let's see if I can show it to you here.
Is there a little bit of glitter in there? Is what I'm trying to determine.
No, I think what you're seeing there is they're indented. And I think maybe it might be just how the light and the shadows are. But if it is, it's so microscopic I can't see it. And kudos to Martin Nagata for putting that in there. If it's that small, that only the most well-trained eye can even notice it. But yeah, I love this guy. Okay, so my 2 big pieces are both from Unraku, Metacom and Unraku and Saku. And so I was able to pick up one of the newbies, the 94 The Nani 4 on Raku. Absolutely love this guy. I got this. It's a great piece. It's a wonderful sculpt. I love the paint job. It's beautifully done. It's better in person. I got it because I have to put it next to my Space Godzilla because I love the Space Godzilla so much. So I finally that is one that I do have to display them together. It should have been a 2-pack, but this is wonderful. And Unraku does some really cool stuff. I like some of the more quirkier things and some of the wackier paint jobs and stuff, but I love the Space Godzilla so much, and this was really just bought as a companion piece to that. If the Space Godzilla didn't exist, I don't think I would have bought this. But look at this guy, love him.
Really
the other piece I got, my last piece, was one that I've wanted for a long time and just never bought it. And then it kind of became harder to find, even though for like so long, it was like probably the cheapest Unraku out there. And I always wanted to, I'll get it later. And of course, then it goes away, and finally found one for, not ridiculous price. And I got the purple Cybot.
Oh.
So I was able to get the purple Cybot. Finally, my growing Unraku collection. But this is the one that I've been eyeballing for so long. And it's just fun. I think this is a great sculpt of that, and I love purple, and so I love the purple on there. Purple and black, you don't get to see it too much, so this is a really cool piece.
Very cool.
Definitely dig it.
Yeah, so heavy and rocking. That's all I got, man. We will talk about some other toys in a second. I'll show off some more stuff, but that's for a later part, which will be super.
Hey Jay, before we cut from this segment, as a fan of this podcast, I'm watching weekly and always think of the question. Maybe it's been answered, but we've all probably have an answer to it, even if we haven't been asked. But is there one piece in your collection, if you had to give it all away, but you could keep one thing, do you know what that piece is? Or is that a thinker?
Nope. I know what mine is.
Okay.
Mine is, and I will preface it while I'm just thinking of kind of like my Godzilla stuff. I might have to think if it's anything that's like falls outside of Godzilla. I don't think so. No, I think it's my yellow Marmot Godzilla Tower.
Awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not even the most like valuable or expensive Marmot Godzilla Tower that I have, but it to me it checks all the boxes. I love it. It's a toy I always wanted, and I got it. It's my favorite colorway of that. It is. I think I felt like I was a real collector when I got it. Like I felt like I was okay. This is something I really like to do. It means a lot. Though I have to say, I will say one caveat, and I think it's just because it's been a little bit newer in the collection. Dr. Gory catching up. He's catching up, man. He's that toy. I love it so much.
It's the realistic hair.
It is. I don't know what it is, man. It is the most amazing toy of all time. But no, I think it's a Marmot Godzilla Tower. How about you, Ryan?
Ooh, bronze Nakajima. M1 bronze Nakajima. That's
a cool toy.
Yeah.
I mean, Chaz, you have to say it has to be Bangkok, right? It has to be Bangkok. It has to be Tahar. It has to be something that you did.
If you'll bear with me for a second, I can bring it to that it would be. It's between these two boys right here, and again, they're not the most expensive in my collection either, or even have the most meaning, maybe. But just on the pure basis of aesthetic, I would choose these. But like I said, others mean more to me. Others are more valuable, but pure aesthetic, it's these guys. And I mean, it's hard to beat 1970s vintage orange and green combo. Yeah. It doesn't get any better than that. So
no, I mean, that's one that I think because I think we're on the same page of the fact if I had to restart my collection and start with one, I think my focal point would be it would be I want to get all of my favorite Marmots, because I think those truly are my favorite of any sub collection, because it would be the Marmot Tower, and then the red Marmot Gallery Varan would probably be really close to it, and I'm like, okay, that would be up there, and so I think that would probably be another reason. And like yours, I could totally see you if you had a collection of just vintage Pachi style Mira toys, like that stuff. You could have that would be perfect.
Yep. I mean, this is me, no doubt. And you often talk about that collector's arc, and I think this was my first vintage piece I got, this Miro toy here. And since then, I've been falling down that rabbit hole, and I could. There's nothing better looking, to me than this.
It's definitely a great aesthetic, man. It really is, and it's interesting. I would love to have a bigger conversation on like that specific kind of subgenre of toy collecting, because if you're just collecting Godzilla or licensed sofubi, right? Like it is endless and it's everywhere. And even though there's a ton of what you're talking about, it's not the easiest to find, because it's not like you're relying on newer indie designers who love that style to make toys similar to that. But like, it's harder to find some of that stuff, and it makes it a bit more challenging and super expensive to be able to like really just build an entire collection with that type of toy, as opposed to like if you want to do Godzilla, I mean, you could do all Marusan and have a full collection in a week, I mean, like you really could.
Well, I mean, all of our collections are an investment to some degree, but this truly becomes like a 401k. And when you get a few of these, it's a way to quickly, it's a nest egg of sorts. But yeah, you can definitely get burn a hole in the old wallet pretty fast going after these guys. But for my money, I haven't found anything better. And I think the things I see artists doing today that are replicating this aesthetic, Feudal Toy with his Space Dino, absolutely, an homage to this, and I grabbed one of those recently too. But it's fantastic.
Very cool, very cool. Well, if it's okay with you guys want to talk a little news, a little toy news. Some toy news. Awesome. Let me I'm going to pull up the slides here. Let me hide the presenter view, and then I will share screen, and we will let me know. Share right there. Boom. Little news. Okay. So then we'll get into some Superfest. So these were some cool releases that came out recently in the Godzilla store. Most of them are both Japan and the US, which is extra cool because now everybody can go get them for cheap. They don't have to go to places like Tokyo Toy Town and just spend too much money. They can get these guys for what they were originally priced at, which is amazing. And you see really kind of, and this is what I've really liked about the Godzilla stores, that they've been very diverse in their kind of toy and collectible selections. It's not been all Bandai. It's not been all sofubi. It's been a little bit of everything. And I think this latest release is a perfect example of that, kind of a microcosm of what they've been doing so far. The Marusan stuff they released, they had these 3 really cool colorways, a gold, a silver, and kind of the translucent burning orange style with the kind of some black spray. Really a beautiful piece. Now, the orange and the gold are on the US store and the Japanese store. The silver is Japan only, I believe, at least for now. But they're great pieces. This is your classic 350 series Marusan Mechagodzilla 74. It's just good. I mean, it's a flawless piece. They do Mechagodzilla really well at Marusan, and I was excited to see even more Marusan stuff hit the shelves on the virtual shelves on the Godzilla store in the US. The other pieces that they release, they've been releasing. I don't know if you guys have been on the Godzilla store in the US recently, but if you like CCP, holy buckets, man, they have like a bazillion of them on there. The latest one is this clear pink purple one, which I really dig. I'm not a CCP guy. I don't collect CCP. But this middle-sized Mechagodzilla I thought was a really cool, fun colorway. And they're $40. They're so inexpensive and a great entry level into sofubi for those that are kind of like, they need a gateway drug. CCP, Gigabrain, that'll do it for you. But this is a great piece. And then, of course, they're going to release a ton of Bandai. The Movie Monster series stuff, the video game color Boggin, the Cybot, the 74, and the Flying Mechagodzilla were the recent releases that, anything Boggin, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. I mean, gets people so freaking fired up. But I thought of all these, the Flying Mechagodzilla was the standout to me, just because it's like I wasn't expecting that, and it's like, oh yeah, sure, we'll throw him in there too. And it's a great piece, and these are all sub $30, and the fact that you can get these now in the U.S., shipped to the U.S. like 2 days later, you're gonna have it in your home on your shelf. It's amazing.
My thought is, if they're doing Flying Mechagodzilla, hit us with a Flying Gigan. Come on,
it's coming.
baby.
It's coming.
Come on, baby.
For sure. I mean, when they're on like multiple variations of Boggin, I mean, it's come on now. But and then the other one that came out is this boxed Godzilla -1, the gold version, or the gold vomit one, as I've dubbed it. Like it's not my favorite. I love Godzilla -1, but I don't love this variant of it. But hey, once again, it's $38. You can get it super cheap, and it's gold, and it's -1, and yay. Nice. We know Chaz loves Bandai, so that's why I was want to make sure I had a lot of it on here for him.
Some band do and some band don't.
Well, moving on from the Godzilla store releases, we did have a couple more Marusan store releases, and these are all exclusive. From the Han Shibuya store, we had the second release, well, technically the third release. We'll get to the second release in a bit. The third release of the Kamada-kun, the second form, Shin Godzilla. And this one, like I said, a Han Shibuya exclusive, 8 inches long. It's the clear red translucent, but now it has a little bit more paint to it. It has some like what appears to be a light blue, maybe a Marusan blue spray on the top of the dorsal spines. I think it adds a little extra punch to it. The eyes are painted. Really cool piece. I love the first one. I was able to have a good amount of them come through Toku Toy Town. It's a cool piece. I love what they're doing with Shin Godzilla. Kudos to Kaminaga-san and Mara-san for that. And I think this is a really good colorway for this wacky little beast.
Definitely a cool piece. I got mine from Toku Toy Town. Highly recommend picking one up if you haven't yet. Yeah. You're right. With the blue dorsals, it does pop. So, yeah. I mean, this is a good one.
And then the other two, I think I might get these. So these are both Hashimoto Toy Store exclusives. I'll probably think of them in the secondary market. I don't think Hashimoto has a direct connect to a proxy service or anything, but they're both 450 series. So they're big, 11, 12 inches tall. King Joe, and I just love that it's the desert image. It's like, okay, I love some of the names, right? Whether it's the translation or not, but the desert image version is amazing. It's kind of this, like, I don't know if I feel like I'm back in like collecting Desert Storm cards or something like with this. I mean, it is like that type of camo. It's amazing. And I love King Joe as well. And I have so much like King Joe, but they're all like translucents and pinks and glitters and all. Like, I think I might need one that's just like brown. This is such a good piece, and I love King Joe. And then I said King Joe. Oh my gosh, there's a typo. This should say Red King, guys. I know it is. That's what happens when you copy and paste, man. There's always going to be one mistake. But the Red King, the show of first image version, once again, kind of that similar tones with a little metallic blue spray there on the stomach, but this thing, it's a foot tall. It's amazing, and I don't know. I don't have a good Red King in my collection. And I think maybe this might be it.
That's a solid choice.
It is a solid choice. And I read his Instagram post today, and, the translation is funny. And it says something like, for great decor, collect all 3 or something.
Yes, yeah.
And he had 3 different colorways, of the Red King.
It is great decor, man. It is great decor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go in there, people are like, hey, nice Red King. Some other news, some other releases that are really, really cool. So Bullmark, it's funny. We do a lot of Bullmark news about like they're one-offs. They'll have one. It's either a Graveyard Gallery exclusive, or they'll release something new. It's not these big waves like we see with Marusan and stuff. But what I've noticed is that everything that Bullmark has been releasing really over the last like 2 or 3 years, they've all been really good, and it's been fun, unique colorways, cool sculpts, and I don't know. I it's not that we don't give them enough cred. It's just like, I think it's just a matter of quantity. versus like what we see released from the other dudes. Every festival there's 16 Max Toy Japan things. There's 10 Saru Jarushis. There's so many Marusans, and Bullmark's kind of like, slow and steady, like one release, but they're all really, really good. And this Zeton is no exception. This pink and purple, definitely the vintage Bullmark sculpt. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's great. And I think that, if I was there at the Hakuba Gallery and, I only had $68 in my pocket and I'd choose to eat or get this toy, I think I'm getting this toy.
That looks like a J Key colorway for sure.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
The orange is an interesting addition to those two colors that you typically see.
You don't see that. I mean, purple and orange, okay, but the pink in there just is, it's so bizarre. And I think the posing on this picture too, he's just like, we think of Zeton, this like immobile, like I'm gonna shoot you 100 trillion degree fireballs and kill everything. And then he just like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like turning, like walking down the street. I don't know. There's something about it. Like, I know, right? Exactly. He's like talking to Ned Flanders. So I think everything together, I'm like sold. If I get him, he's posing like this for sure.
100%.
Yeah. The next one, staying in the Hakuba Gallery. Max Toy Japan. They do awesome stuff. We love them. We'll talk about Max Toy Japan in about 30 seconds here. But I mean, Taisho, has he ever looked better? I mean, I love the sculpt. There's always good. They have the best Taisho sculpt of all time, maybe the only one of all time. But they rock it, and this translucent with the green and the pink and the yellow, like, yes. I mean, yes. And, I need some more Taisho. I know Sweaty Vinyl is probably going to listen to this and be like, dude, you don't have any? I have like 57 of them. But this is the one that I think I might be getting. I love this guy so much. And last on this page, so Max Toy, they broke the internet with the -1, the first colorway, and now coming in November at Hobby Round 31, they're going to release same sculpt, but they're adding the gold spikes. And I know Wilhelm's going to show off his because he's one of like the 3 people in the world that have one. But it's such a cool sculpt, and I'm excited to see what else they do with it. Yeah, look at that guy. So they're going to add the gold touches to this one, the gold accents. So it'll be really cool. But I'm sure that they'll coming out of Hobby Round, they'll be going for lots of cash money.
Wow,
A couple
so
bucks.
big. It's kind of
awesome.
deceivingly large, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a big one.
I mean, I think our brains are trained to think like 4 inches with Max Toy, and that's that and the GMK one that came out, and then the hetero one that are like the 9 to 12 inch sofubi. I mean, it's big stuff. Really, really cool stuff. People I think are already like salivating to try another chance to get one of those. Okay, so some more releases here. I went from the least fun but also really cool to the weirdest to one that I really, really, really want like yesterday. And oh man, I had another typo here. Man, this was not a great day for me on my slides. But anyway, so Bandai's releasing this light up movie monster version of Godzilla 95. It has 2 LEDs in it. It's really cool looking. It's only going to be $40. 6-inch movie monster series line. You can pre-order it now at the Bandai site. I know there's some proxy stuff there, or excuse me, there's not proxy stuff there, so it might show up on some other. I could see this totally landing on like Big Bad Toy Store and Awesome Collector and those other ones. So I think just wait on this one if you want it. I think you'll be able to get it without paying crazy prices. I'll do Inca Vinyl next. I'll skip over the Godzilla print. It's not a Hakuba Gallery exclusive. That's copy and paste error. But $114 on their site. It is. They only can sell this in Japan, so unfortunately, we'll have to go through the secondary channels here. 9 inches tall. This parade version of theirs. There's a blue blank, and then the more classic style. I absolutely love this. This is blew my mind. I was not expecting, Inca Vinyl as my number one want list right now was not on my bingo card this morning. And when I was going through this stuff, I was like, yes, I need this. So I don't think I'll be getting it for $115, but whatever it costs, I think I might have to splurge on this one.
It's definitely a good one. I would take either version too.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. And then the last one, I think is freaking amazing. And I love what Swimmy Design Lab does. Their Hedera is great. Their Matango is great. Their Mecha Godzilla is great. Their everything is great. And I think they have, and I would have said Sun Guts because I still believe Sun Guts, Minya, and Mothra Larva might have been my toy of the year last year. Truly. They might have running now because this, Minya, this Manila, I don't know. It's from like a Bizarro Peppa Pig world, and it's freaking amazing. And I like this colorway better. It's awesome. But this was done through an Instagram lottery. It's already done. I think it ended on the 30th of September. But I might have to be on the lookout for this guy. Look at this guy. I mean, is this not amazing? Am I off on this?
I'm gonna pull a Jake and say I hate it. No, I think it is really interesting. I like the styling of it. It's just not for me. It's not going to find its way into my collection. But
it will. I'm going to buy an extra one and just sneak over there and just put him right there, hide him right behind one of your Mira toy, Triceratops, and he's going to be hanging out there the whole time. You won't even notice him.
That would be the greatest gift you could ever bestow upon him.
Right. I love this guy so much.
Triceratops fodder. Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it.
I mean, I think this just captures the essence of Minya. I just think that's really what they wanted to make him look like. I think that's the spirit of Minya. It's right there. It's the spirit of Minya. This is the second colorway, so hopefully we'll get 12 of these.
That would be awesome.
And it'll be an entire line. And I'm gonna start judging people by how many of these that they have in their collection. But yes, so those were some other fun toy releases that we had. Now I will talk X Plus. Now, I don't think any of us here. I know Ryan, you obviously used to be a huge X Plus collector. I've had my moments. I still have a dabble every now and then, but by no means is it a signature part of my collection. But they did release a couple that I think are worth talking about. This one, Jake and I have talked about on the show when they teased it at, one of the Wonderfest, maybe both the last two Wonderfest. I don't know. It seems like everything. But now that this bad boy is up on pre-order on both the Godzilla store, US and Japan, but also X Plus, the X Plus North America site, as well as Japan. So this is something that, guys, US listeners, you don't have to fret. Go get it. And it is the 30 centimeter boggin. He's there. Now everybody shut up. We don't have to talk about him anymore. Done. No, but this is it's a great sculpt. I mean, I could see this, if not Pacific Rim, I could see the Godzilla. I mean, Boggin would be great for the Monsterverse. Just throw him in there. But I think this is an excellent sculpt. I think that the detailing on the back, and the image in the bottom there in the middle, that's impressive. It is a really well done sculpt. There's so many intricacies in this sculpt that it's pretty amazing. I'm glad that I am, in all seriousness, glad they did a Boggin, and I'm glad they did it this well.
I can't add anything to that except it is super realistic, and that's why I don't like it. And it's it's amazingly screen accurate, if that's what you want to say. But,
I mean, don't you think it would be perfect in a Detolf case, this and then the Minya from Swimmy
together?
Yeah, together. It's amazing.
1A and 1B,
Yeah, I mean, I was curious. Were you ever, when you were X Plus heavy, right? If you can go back in the time machine, were you ever in that very vocal contingent of we need Boggin, we need Boggin, we need Boggin, we need Boggin? Because the people that are, and it's awesome that they love something so much, and I'm glad that you're getting it in Movie Monster series and X Plus, and Gojiban and everything. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But I just never was I need this. It never was that important to me compared to some of the. I mean, I would much rather have a Mamagon, than a Boggin. But that's me.
I wanted a Biolante Rose. I was that guy. Yeah. I was like, give me a Biolante Rose, and then they didn't, and I was like, I'm done.
And Mecha King Ghidorah. Yeah. The other one, of course, is now the big guy, the 25 centimeter line, the Daikaiji line, Large Monster series, whatever you want to call it. The Godzilla -1, both Rick and Standard, are up for pre-order. Going to come out in January 2025. The Rick is actually a second head with a closed mouth, but it's a gorgeous piece. I think Godzilla -1, if there ever was a Godzilla or a kaiju made for X Plus, it's Godzilla -1, because it is that style, that realistic style, that screen accurate style can capture it in all of the stubbiness and armor and everything about it so well.
I think you're right, Jay. It seems that those more hyper detailed sculpts translate really well to X Plus, because they are able to capture all that. Versus maybe some of the earlier suits in the 60s and 70s, not so much.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think it's just really what you like, and you're right. The earlier you go back, X Plus does a great job on the old stuff too. But I think as we get to the more modern interpretations of some of these kaiju, it's going to be even more in their wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so let's talk a little Superfest. And Superfest is always a fun one, because I feel, unlike Wonderfest, where I feel every time there's it's always going to be just a ton of stuff, I feel Superfest is a little bit more volatile. I mean, there's sometimes, and I say a lot of stuff, there's always a lot of stuff at Superfest, but that would be relevant for us. I feel Superfest can definitely skew a little bit less to the major kaiju stuff than like Wonderfest. I mean, even like X Plus, I'm not even going to talk about X Plus and Superfest. Their booth was okay. Like, there's a couple things that were neat, but it wasn't like what we typically see from them at Wonderfest. But there was still some really cool stuff, and some kind of surprising winners in my book for Superfest this time around. But we got to start with Marusan, because they do a lot of stuff for everything. I still don't know how it happens. I don't know how they produce so much stuff. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know, but they do, and I'm very happy they do. They did release, they said, you know what, we're going to go classic Marusan blue, the 66 toy release, everything blue. And so we get the classic re-release, we get the 54, we get the 99. None of those are shockers. But how about a Shin 4th and 2nd form in the classic Marusan blue? I absolutely love these. It's just so different and weird, and I love it.
Yeah, seeing Shin in anything other than a red or a dark color, like a bright blue, purple, it's very jarring, but in a positive way,
Yeah, it just kind of doesn't work, but because it doesn't work, it works so well.
And I love that they have yellow eyes, but all the other ones have red. It's perfect.
Yeah, 100%. And then Jake and I talked about the new Marugachas. They have the new lineup with the Minya and the Gigan and King Caesar. And I think that, and I love seeing them in different colorways. The Minya is the standout for me. And then the Chaz. Hey, I know you know something about these Marumon finger puppets, the blind boxes, the $30 blind boxes. So they're bringing those they brought those to Superfest as well. And those are cool pieces. I want to know firsthand, no pun intended there, thoughts on these guys.
Yeah, well, thanks to, I'll grab a couple while I'm talking, but thanks to Mr. Wilhelm at G-Fest this year, he was able to grab a few for me, and I've got a couple sitting right here, different colors. This guy, one of the Marumon kind of style guys there, and then this one.
Yeah.
And definitely you can see my index finger, how tall he sits there.
Yeah.
And fun. He goes on my bank and container shelf, because I kind of put my top shelf is kind of the functional piece.
Yeah.
So, anything you can stuff something into goes up there. But anyway, yeah, love them. Thank you so much, Ryan, for getting these for me. And I watched Kaminaga-san's YouTube video yesterday on his new Marumon release, which is Rogella.
It's kind of the Triceratops looking guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
He goes into the name of it. It's originally Rogira, but he changed the name to Rogera, or something like that. Anyway, he tells a little bit about the story of why he changed the name. But yeah,
very cool.
That's super cool.
So Marusan, they're always going to bring the heat, but I think this might have been my winner from Superfest. We'll see. We'll go through some more stuff. But Future, who does some really cool stuff, they I think these are their 3rd, 4th, and 5th kaiju and seijin that they brought from Umezo's the manga line, the Ultraman manga line that released simultaneous to the show in the 60s, and they've done the colorways and the styles based more on the how they were featured in the manga versus on the show. And I think they're really cool. I love the more, I don't know, like fearsome, but still goofy kaiju monsters and aliens. But the alien Zerub is like, has he ever looked so cool? I mean, he's way more menacing. The Gygas is always great, and it's just more kind of giant primate Yeti abominable snowman style. And then I think the big winner here is I love seeing the Gyros in the more kind of traditional old school interpretation of a dinosaur, but with a frill as opposed to the Godzilla approach. So these are how they appeared in the manga, and I love this line. I think that I might have to really consider exploring this to add these to the collection. These are all standard sofubi size, 9 to 11 inches tall, but I thought these were outstanding releases from Future.
These are muskets. I mean, yeah, they're great.
The yellow in the Zarab is awesome. I was not expecting that. Something about it. I think it's maybe because he doesn't look as much like a, I don't know, tombstone or something. Like it's great. So M1, they released some things as well, but a lot of it was just kind of bringing some more of the stuff that they've been bringing to all the festivals, like the DX Hedera, the Luminous Bullmark Hedera, the Gamera and the Mechagodzilla, Fake Godzilla and Godzilla 74 Trikes. But they did re-release the Matango set, Halloween Glow. I know what most people pay for these, and it would be nice to get one for $98, right? With the little guys as well. So that's going to be back out there in the ether. So that's nice. And then I love M1's 54 sculpt with the jet. I have the kind of the classic release of it up there. It's one of my favorite pieces of modern sofubi. I love it. And they're giving it the gold with stand treatment for the 70th anniversary. So I thought that was kind of cool. And they had this bad boy. I think they had 30 of them at Superfest. I'm sure they sold out in 30 seconds, but really cool piece. And I think that sculpt is awesome.
Well, of everything you've showed so far in the news, this is the page for me.
Really?
Yeah, so far there's some really neat stuff here. That Godzilla 1954, that would be definitely something I'd be interested in, just because it is so unique.
Yeah. And I forgot, Chaz, you weren't at G-Fest this year. So like that, their table was, they had a couple of the big, the first header you see there's the big DX, like the big one. And they finally re-released that. So you don't have to pay like $800 for him anymore. And then they had the Bullmark style, which is your standard. And then they had the 4 Trikes. They're great. I mean, saying M1 is great is a little like, it's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, right? I mean, it's like, they're
the best.
They're the best. Yeah. They're like gold Godzilla with your gold Ultraman. But we had some more. And so we'll do rapid fire these. I love US Toys, and they brought a lot of the stuff that they have been releasing recently, including the awesome Shampoo DX, Naranga, and Gabara, the yellows. Love that. What I noticed was they had all 3 of their lame or their glitter Canagons there in the back. If you can see the pink, yellow, and blue, stunning. And then the pink shampoo bottle Gomez in the back as well is very, 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 very cool. But I mean, the other one hidden here that I really kind of like is the Gomera down there in the bottom with the metallic greens and reds and blues, but it's like that metallic paint that I think looks so good when done on US. Don't know how they make it just extra awesome, but that's a really cool piece. So just, I mean, I'd buy everything at this table if I was there. 100%. I'd just be like one of everything.
Yeah.
The Linda,
Yeah, do the Linda. Yeah. And then Yabumark had some really cool stuff there as well. They re-release one of their Paga sculpts, and I think their Paga sculpt is one of my favorite of any of them. And then also their Gabora as well. So Yabumark, who I'm a huge fan of their work they do with like Blobpus and stuff. They do really cool stuff. I like their Cibozu sculpt. I know Chaz and I talked about that the other day. Like they do really, really cool stuff. But this Pagos is like, I love it. I absolutely love the sculpt. And they have more colorways that I might look into, but I like that sculpt. And they, like I said, Yellow Mark was one we don't talk about a ton, but they're solid, man. And then the last thing, so Max Toy Japan, they do their classic where they release a lot of the same sculpts, different colorways. The Jamila, oh my gosh, like yes, like sign me up, like looks so good. Another tie show. But if you saw the images from Superfest, you saw a prototype of a Red King from Ultraman Powered, and apparently it's been sculpted by the guy that does a lot of the toy stuff, Gort Sugimoto. And then, are these the Ultraman Rising prototypes that Mark talked about in his interview or hinted to in the interview at Kaiju Go? Because if so, like they look awesome. They're big.
I think they could be onto something with that, like a new scale, like, yeah.
Yeah. If you guys have a chance, go check out the at QuackMax, the Max Toy Japan Instagram page. They have some close-ups of the Red King, the powered sculpt. That face, like it's gnarly looking. It's good. It's really, really, really good. And I think it's going to be like 11 inches tall, so it's going to be big. But I think of all this stuff that's out, I got to get that Jamil up there. Look at him up there, man. He's just like, hey, man, what's going on? I love it.
It's like Jamila.
I know.
Yeah, no neck, Jamila.
No neck. I mean, I just want him and like Dustman to hang out. I just feel like they would be friends.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Trying their best,
Yeah. But these were really cool. I still, man, that US toy. A couple more things. So this was showed off at Superfest in person. It was the only time you could actually touch and feel and look at it, but it was executed and delivered and whatever out to the folks via an Instagram lottery. And that was the Planet X Asia and Blobpus combo for the Tyranno. They had 2 colorways, $350, worth every penny. I love Planet X Asia. And of course, in that classic multicolor Blobpus style, we with Yellow Mark, same style, every one. Like it is like so definitively his stuff, and their sculpt is awesome. I really wish I would have won that lottery. I really, really wish, because that's a cool freaking piece. But yeah, that's so good. And then Dream Rocket, I have the Garamon. I have the Garamon, the red one. They did come out with a green colorway from their friends from the Fantasy World series. This thing is 7-8 inches tall. It's very bulky, and it's amazing in person. It's a great sculpt, and I was glad to see that they're going to continue that, and hopefully they'll do some more kaiju in that style to go with their Ultraman and their Garamon, because it's very, 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 very cool.
Yeah, that's a showstopper right there for me.
Definitely.
Especially in that more simplified green colorway there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I had one thing in this entire deck that I could buy, it would be what's next. And it's the Alien Paralinga and Boy from Marmon and Carsworks. Because get how crazy this is. I love that episode. But they had both the boy actor in that episode and the suit actor for I forget which who played actually Paralinga, doing a double signing with this toy. I have no news on the release if they're releasing this or whatever, but like that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm getting this. It's just so Marmot, because they do the best. I think they do the funniest, best humans. Them and M1. But then with Alien Paralinga, like sign me up for this one. I don't even need the autographs. I just want the toys. But I thought this was so awesome. When Carsworks reposted this, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to find these. So if anybody knows how to get an Alien Paralinga and Boy, let me know, because I will pay money for these things. I think it's so awesome.
It's the best name ever.
Yeah. I really want to get a duplicate and have somebody customize that one dude and be like Ichiro from Godzilla.
Yes.
But hey, let's talk about the big stuff. So screw all those toys. They don't mean anything. We got to talk, and this is why we got Chaz on. We got to talk about a little thing called StarMonkeyGo. And, we've talked and raved about your initial release, Bangkok, about a year or so ago. And a lot of our listeners have Bangkok. Bangkok has been awesome. It's here in Texas with all of our artists. It's one of the toys that, people love. And at Kaiju Go this year, you kind of, I wouldn't say surprise release, but you had a small batch of really cool stuff, including Tahara, the Protector, which is a very kind of, Pachi style, vintage, like cool kaiju that was our mascot for Kaiju Go. In fact, it's so awesome. I have Mark Nagata's original interpretation of it here above me because the kaiju is awesome and it's amazing. And then, but the funny thing is, Chaz, is like, since I've known you, I feel like in our friendship relationship, there's been a third member, and it's been StarMonkeyGo, not Ryan Wilhelm. It's StarMonkeyGo. And so I wanted to have you on here to talk about it and talk about how you came up with this and everything about it. And then I want to talk about some really fun news related to StarMonkeyGo in a second. But Chaz, the floor is yours. I really like, this is such a cool piece.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. And I mean, it was the day you and I met in person. That's what I was drawn to your amazing booth, by the way, first of all, because in the Dallas, Texas area, you just don't see wonderful sofubi Japanese toys of any kind around here. And then Jay bringing his Tokyo Toy Town to that show just drew me in, and I was obsessed. And at that show, we did talk about StarMonkeyGo, and I was in the process of having the tests molds made and things like that. And we started talking about, we became friends quickly after that. And, 3 years later, finally, StarMonkeyGo happens, get the molds made, find a producer, and it's here. And so, yeah, happy to finally debut the character with 3 swappable heads. And as you mentioned earlier, I am just obsessed with kind of monkey figures and toys. And so along with that vintage 50s, 60s aesthetic, kind of merged the two, the classic monkey toy with the robot astronaut toy. And that was kind of my inspiration for creating this guy. And
if anybody hasn't checked it out yet, they need to go to your Instagram at Chazbro Toys and check out the promo video you made for StarMonkeyGo. If you need further help, and you shouldn't, but if you need further help understanding not just the what this is all about, I think that video is so perfect for this retro futurist vinyl toy, whimsical, but yet it is. I mean, StarMonkeyGo might just become its own like style because it's just amazing.
It was more just about the sculpt when I originally made it, but since then it's been 3 years, and I've kind of been able to retrofit kind of an aesthetic to it with the video, and thinking about it as being in that time of the the 60s and the space race and all that kind of weird. Midnight Climax, LSD stuff, the Manson family, all that weird kind of stuff that was happening at that time. And so that's kind of where the inspiration for that video came from.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just showing off a couple of my personal keepers here. And Jay aptly named this one the Country Space Race Russian Robot Variation. And Cold War variant, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. But, just kind of thinking about all the wild stuff that was happening in that time period in the world, really, but notably here in the U.S. and kind of building a fun little theme around it. So,
one thing I think that people will, whether it's Bangkok or whether it's Tahara, the Protector, but I think even more so with StarMonkeyGo, what they'll learn about your toy releases. And I think this is why I think I'm such a fan of them, is your attention to detail, and not necessarily the detail as much, like I'm not going to just like the detail on the toy. That's also great. But like the header card, the box art, everything, like they're little nuggets of kind of funny takes on, almost like you're stepping back and like having a laugh at how silly this era is, what you're doing is. And I mean, it goes back to like StarMonkeyGo, the name itself is just funky and weird, like a mistranslation. But I always use the example of one of the exclusive event shirts that you had for Kaiju Go. It was C's Texas or C's Tejas, and like you misspelled C's on purpose because how things would get misspelled in translations and stuff, and these when things come over from Japan or from other countries, and it just works. And I think like when you look at the box art and like the name Science Mon and Chief Mon and Space Mon and like Semi On, like it's perfect. The aesthetic, the visuals, the branding, it makes me think of a Japanese toy from the 60s or 70s. And the fact that it's a monkey astronaut just plays into it. I just think that like it's every little piece. You don't just make the toy and say, throw it in a plastic bag and say, here you go. Everything is like with the meticulous detail, but all fun and whatever. And I think that really stands out with your toys, because you're not just getting the toy, you're getting this kind of like full package of this fun, crazy peek inside your designer brain. And it's amazing. And it's really, really, really good.
Well, thanks for saying that, because I mean, if it makes me laugh, I'm buying it. It's kind of outside of this really cool old vintage stuff. If it makes me laugh, I'm buying it. So that's kind of my motto. I mean, we're talking toys here. This is not serious stuff. No. So I try to make fun of the thing that I'm making as much as I can and bring out the humor in it, because it's definitely, I'm making this stuff for fun and entertainment and not because I think it's something, amazing or anything, but it's just a fun hobby, and keeping it lighthearted and poking fun at it just brings me a lot of joy. Well, it brings me a lot of joy to be able to say, we got an announcement, man. We got an announcement. We know we're going to be at DesignerCon Tokyo Toy Town, and I'm super, super, super stoked to say that I was able, through intense negotiation, and I had to bring in Ron Wilhelm to kind of, just twist some arms and make some people do the right thing. We were able to do a little partnership with you, Chaz, and Chazbro Toys, and we're going to have some DCon exclusives at the Tokyo Toy Town booth for StarMonkeyGo, some exclusive variants. And I'm excited because these two variants are probably the two I would have picked if I could have them as exclusive. So it was amazing. So I want to talk about these and show these off. And so the two that we're going to have, in Chaz, please chime in with inspiration behind these and everything. And I'm going to grab one, because I do have one here in person. We have first the Midnight Climax version. We're going to have 13 of these at a Designer Con. Here is, as I dropped one of the heads, but as you mentioned, each one comes with the StarMonkeyGo and then two different heads. You have the kind of the standard monkey head. You have, the bad attitude monkey head here with the mohawk. And then, of course, the robot head as well. And then, of course, you have a really cool header card that was showed off kind of in that last slide here with the StarMonkeyGo branding and everything. And, of course, their names, so you know who you're talking about. You know that the brave Chief Mon is Yaki Primo. Like, you know this because you learn it here on the header card. So we are really excited. This Midnight Climax version is stunning on a yellow vinyl, and with these oranges and purples and blues, it's just a beautiful colorway, man. Thanks. Yeah. Just kind of thinking about that strange period in American history where, getting a little, throwing some conspiracy kind of stories in there, but the CIA, drugging people, doing drug tests on them and stuff, and kind of coming up with that colorway based on, stories I've read or heard about that time period. So looks great. And then the other one, I'm so excited as well. I think this one is cool. This is the Stardust variant, and this is on blue vinyl, and it has a blue, purple, silver metallic. I mean, it has that kind of metallic galaxies type feel to it. I put the bad attitude mohawk monkey on it, this one. But I think this one also
stunning and just really, really cool. Goes, like I said, it just feels very spacey. But yet still vintage, still on brand, but it gives you a little bit, very different kind of look and feel and aesthetic than you do with the Midnight Climax. But really, really cool.
Yeah, and I kind of surprised myself with that one. Obviously more leaning toward a grittier kind of dirty style, but really kind of liked how that one turned out, and kind of had that vintagey kind of effect to it. But
and I love the
I want to say Wilhelm is showing off one of the early concept pieces, one of a kinds there. So yeah, thanks for supporting there. And I've got a blank blue for you. I still need to deliver to you, Ron.
Yeah, dude, this is high quality stuff. I mean, like, I've got all 3 of your pieces, and this is definitely my favorite. I mean, it's like what Jay was saying, right? Like when we first met, you were talking about how, you wanted to do this character, and it's so cool to finally see it happen. And the fact that Toku Toy Town can have an exclusive at DCon, big stuff, man, big stuff. So please check out StarMonkeyGo.
Yeah, honestly, I love Bangkok. Tahara is, we're gonna continue to see iterations of that guy as Kaiju Go continues to grow. But there's just something about StarMonkeyGo, man, that it just like it's a damn good toy. And I don't know, man. I feel like he's part of the family. Look at that. Chazbro Toys has a roster of really cool vinyl toys. So
it's good stuff, man. My friends
really
do cool shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jacob Walsh said, you guys do cool shit.
It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, thanks for the support, and it's just fun to be able to share it with you guys.
Yeah,
and I couldn't do it without the support, and so yeah, thanks for what you guys do and promoting and doing great podcasts like this.
Well, we wouldn't do it if we didn't think it was really good. So I know these are going to be at DCon, so if anybody's interested in getting and learning about StarMonkeyGo and getting some other ones, like, can you provide any details on how to purchase them, how to reach out to you, timelines, like what is the kind of, how can somebody acquire these if they aren't making it to DCon? I don't think I'll have any after DCon. If I do, they'll be up on the site, but like, I'm pretty sure these things will go. So how else would they be able to acquire one of these?
Sure. You can just reach out to me on my Instagram, Chazbro Toys, and I've got a few different variants, which I'll be releasing probably by this weekend.
Very cool.
And just message me and you'll get a pretty good, fair deal.
Way better deal than you get from me. So we went from amazing StarMonkeyGo to, if you add a little bit of misogyny with a whole lot of racism and some really cool surfer music, you know what time it is. It's time to talk about Gappa. Gappa. Oh, Gappa. So anyway, as you know, this is not a deep dive. This is not something that where it's we're going to go through the history of everything to do with the show. But I do think it is worth noting here. This isn't Toho. This isn't Dai. This isn't Subaraya. This is Nikatsu. And I know Wilhelm mostly knows them from their later pornography, because that's really where that's where he plays it. And no, but this is their, this is a company that's been around for 110 years, and they've had a questionable run of different films that they focus on, but they did try to take advantage of the love of kaiju and release Gappa, their one and only kaiju flick. So I think we have to view everything in that realm, knowing that this is not like try number 7 on something. There wasn't any iteration and optimization here. It was, here's what we're going to do in 1967. Everybody else is making one. So let's make one as well. So I wanted to get initial thought, and like, do you guys even have a history with Gappa? How many times have you seen it? Is this one that like you literally play every Thanksgiving as tradition? What is Gappa and the Gappa family's relationship with you guys?
I've only seen it one time, and so I'm coming in very fresh.
Nice.
But I do like family movies, family friendly movies, and this one had that. This one had that, perfect family bond, and you got the mom and the dad and the baby all spending quality family time together, doing quality family things, and I really love it.
Wilhelm.
Yeah, I love Gorgo. I mean, Gappa.
Yeah.
I love Gappa. No, Gappa as a kaiju, separate from the film, is awesome in my book.
Oh, the design and stuff.
Yeah, the aesthetic and like the creature creation, aces.
Yeah.
The movie itself, leaves a little bit to be desired for sure. I've seen it twice. Once many moons ago, once kind of more recently, and it's just as good as I remember it being.
Yeah. I think that's a great place to start, because sometimes it's hard for us to separate the kaiju from the film. And a lot of people can't do that with Gilal, and it's stupid because they don't love the movie, but that's a whole different problem. They don't like the movie, but
Gilal is amazing.
Perfect design. I do love the Gappa design. I like that it's Triphibian. I like there's a mom, a dad, and a baby. There's cool. The Unraku release of it. I mean, I'm going to pay whatever it's cost to get those. Like it's very cool. It feels like it's of 1967. It feels like it is of a studio below Toho in the in kind of the pecking order and the budgetary limitations. But it doesn't feel that far off from Dai or from what Tsuburaya would do in 1967. Like, I mean, I was actually I want to give it more credit on like some of the production and the quality of that isn't as bad as I would have thought it would have been on paper. And like I said, I think the monster designs are great, and they're fun, and they're not like totally pushing the envelope and doing something weird, but like they're different enough that they stand out, and they're really cool in toy form. The original vintage Nito release is like amazing. But I love the designs, but it's hard sometimes to do that, to separate the two.
Yeah, I try to find the good in everything, right? And so that's just where I go, is like the aesthetic for the kaiju, home run. And like you mentioned, all the toys, although there haven't been that many that I can think of, right? But they're very cool. And the Unraku one is going to definitely be one to keep an eye on for sure. So
yeah. So I think that the storyline isn't like anything necessarily new or different, or like, oh my gosh, like this is like such original thinking. But I just feel like it's a movie that like has so many like moments that you're just like, what? Like,
or why?
Yeah, why? It's just like, I mean, I go back to the very beginning. They're on the secret mission or whatever for Playmate World. They're going to like, check out this island and bring back exotic animals and who the hell knows what. And literally they're going to this island as a volcano is erupting, but like, whatever. It's like,
never mind the volcano. Yeah. We can do a dance.
I know. It's just like, okay. And so like that, I'm just like, okay, okay, we can look past that. Okay, fine. Maybe that's the only thing they had, in the background. They had put an erupting volcano. It was in their contract. Okay, great. And then they go in and it's the typical like, classic 60s, 70s island natives with the island face on and stuff. And yeah, it is what it is of the time, I guess. But you don't love seeing that. But then I think it's so bizarre that like you have this kind of weird what turns into a love triangle apparently, but like the interactions between the leads, the female lead and whatever, basically the guy's like a total dick to her and like tells her she needs to go back and like find a man and wash diapers. And like how it plays out at the end where like she kind of does. It's like you're like, and I don't know. I feel like it is just not like on top of the fact that the whole premise is they want to have this like this playmate world, which is just animals, but apparently like some, island girls as well. But it's such a weird move, a plot point to have in this kaiju film. I don't know. It just seems like there was lots of like, you didn't have to do that. You could have played it straighter and played it kind of just like as you would, and they tried to do something different, and they fell on their face.
It's one of those movies where it makes you want to root for the monster.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I like
Gorga. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that aspect. I'm just a few days early for this podcast because I will be getting like 3 different Gappa figures in.
Oh, nice!
By the weekend. One being Apache figure, but
nice.
Sad I couldn't show that today. But yeah, it's one of those that stands out to me as being, oh yeah, I like these guys, and I'm not feeling bad about the destruction they're causing.
Oh no. Oh no, and I think that's great. And honestly, like I think that's what they're going for. Great, it achieved it. It's wonderful. But like the other big plot point that really made this hard to like for me to like give it like, I don't know, the benefit of the doubt and like kind of treat it as a real story is, so they steal the baby. The scientist wants to do one thing. The reporter wants to keep it a secret for whatever reason, because he's a good dude, I guess. Yeah. And of course the crazy magazine, the Playmate World, when his Playmate magazine with the cover of Baby Gappa wants to keep it. And then the military gets involved because these things are, the mommy and daddy come and they will wrecking shit, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do something about it. And instead of just making one man who runs a magazine company, this is not freaking a dude with a huge probably militia in his backyard. Instead of just making him give back this animal,
yes, here you go.
They come up with their harebrained plans of terrible sounds underwater to piss him off. And I just.
Don't make Gappa angry.
It's just like, Gappa angry because people stupid. Like, it's like literally like, just go get the baby. You have a military. Like, how is this movie like? This movie should have been like 4 minutes long. And once the other's like, no, you can't have that because this is destroying the cities. Like, stop it. Okay, like what is this guy gonna do? And so. I don't know. And then when they tried to make like, it seemed like Baby Gappa was communicating with the kids. It's like, okay, we're going to steal from Gamera now. Like there's just so much. Like, I feel like they're like, oh yeah, this will be great. And then like, they didn't really know what to do from a script standpoint. And they're like, okay, whatever. And then like, it's just such not an anticlimactic ending, but it's like, you knew from day one, from minute one, you knew how this thing was going to end. The only question was one of the parents going to die en route to getting to there? And that was the only question. And so I just feel like the film is not, it has bones there to be a decent kaiju film of the era, like, mid tier, but it just does some really stupid crap.
Yeah. And that's kind of why you like it, or at least like you think maybe it's serviceable, and then you watch it again and it's kind of like,
And I'm not one to like, I'm never one to like pick apart, not even just these movies, any movies, man.
Right.
I don't, it's not, that's not how I like want to engage in these films, but when I'm sitting there being like, just get the fucking baby.
Yeah.
So like, it's in this dude's like cage. Like, I think about like, oh man, if there is a 150 foot tall radioactive,
chicken
lion, or whatever, like coming to get its baby, destroying North Texas, and there's its babies at the Fort Worth Zoo, you're gonna go to the fucking Fort Worth Zoo and get the goddamn baby
real quick.
And it's like, I just don't know why they didn't do that. And on top of like the weird, like the dialogue on the love triangle, which it's like, I didn't even know that her and the professor even had a thing. It was all kind of forced in there, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, and there was the random Pteranodon in the jungle too. That was kind of cool. But other than that, like, I just feel like this is one that's just like, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. It's not bad. This is not War of the God Monsters. This is not Megaguirus. This is like a watchable movie. It's fine. It's just like did somebody just fall asleep when they were finishing the script? That's the main thing.
It's maybe the quintessential Sunday fun day film. If you want to have like a weird Sunday fun day, you know what I mean? Just throw this on in the background. And then immediately watch a better kaiju movie after. But it's still important to do so, right? Like watch this and then level up, you know?
I'm going to disagree with you, Jay, just for the sake of the podcast here. And I'm going to say we absolutely would not. It's not common sense to go and just get the baby to stop that rampaging line, as you explained. I think our first instinct is to go kill the thing. And so I think it's totally legitimate the way the military was acting and doing all those things. Hubris, that kind of stuff plagues us, right? And who's to say that just because these monsters get their child back means they're going to stop terrorizing us? So I'm going to say I loved it, and I love the dancing on the island.
That's the best part of the movie.
No, fair point. I have a hard time thinking like it's like the military didn't even talk to the guy. Like, I mean, there's like kill the baby then, do something. Like I felt like it's like they were on two different worlds. They want to kill. Yeah, they definitely would. We would. Yes, we are humans. We want to go kill things that we don't understand. Yes, that is true.
I'll just interject my own kind of thoughts into what they're thinking, but there's money to be made off that baby. Protect that asset.
You got to sell those tickets,
And we'll kill those big dangerous ones, but we'll keep this little.
You saw the stack of magazines that dude's selling. I mean, it was like, dude, all the way, man. Yeah, I don't know. I just. And I felt like, and here's the other miss. I felt like the greedy magazine owner. I felt like he could have actually been explored a little bit more and could have been almost a sympathetic character because of like his wife dying and everything like that. Like I think he could have played in with that one as more in his daughter. But alas, they did not. But they did not. But
it reminds me of one of my favorite Ultraman kaiju and King Tortoise, because he's another one of those who didn't do anything wrong. He's just attacked by Ultraman, and
there's so many.
The child's involved in that one too, right?
Yeah.
Except, Ultraman gets his butt kicked by King Tortoise pretty good, and you don't see that too often. But it's got that kind of similar vibe to it to me, where you're rooting for the so-called bad guy.
Yeah, I mean it's the Gorg. I mean they just want their baby back, man. I will say that I never thought at any point that one of the monsters was going to get hurt. Like there was no like their only weakness was they don't like this terrible screeching like fingernail on chalkboard on glass sound, and that gets them out of the lake. It's not like saying, oh, that's going to kill them if we just play it. They still like their best thing is like more missiles. I do wish like they would have found a little bit more of a weakness that could have killed them. So you have a little bit more stakes on that side, because they just like shot them with missiles and like, we're good, man. We're going to go destroy a pagoda, some, industrial area. I don't think they did anything else, whatever, but like just crushed some buildings and stuff. And so easily too. Like it was, this was not there were like, I never felt like they were ever really in trouble.
This is 1967.
Yeah, it's right. The Kaiju boom. Yeah. When everybody released something. So same year as like Son of Godzilla and all the good ones. So it just
didn't need much of a script then, right?
No.
So you're just kind of capitalizing on the.
Hey, I would argue like Baby Gappa is probably better than Baby Minya in 1967. Less annoying. I love his when they put him in like the little, whatever it is, the little metal hat thing when he's like in the cage and stuff to like monitor his brain waves and all that good stuff and everything. Amazing stuff. But yeah, no, Chaz, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have to go now rewatch it again. and think of it from like, okay, maybe we need to think of this as like we would go kill them first. I gotta rewatch the whole movie now. Thanks a lot, dude. You make me watch Gappa again. Like, come on now, 2 times in 1 month. Come on.
Yeah.
Logic be damned. But yes, it's a movie. It's out there. I really do think it's on Tubi. Do not watch the English dub.
No, don't do it.
The English dub is very, very bad.
That's a tough one.
It is. It's not great. But yeah, it's. Oh, I would even comment. What about the American submarines coming to save the day? The submarine coming to grab the kid and everything. I mean, come on now, some American exceptionalism there. But you know, as they rescue a kid in Island Face. Oh man.
The 60s were a weird time.
Yeah, but no, I think it's a great film to you know, to your point, like to have on in the background to watch. The monsters are great.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's a film that is going to turn somebody from a kaiju casual fan to a diehard. I could be wrong, but it might be good in like a fun, like Sunday island themed thing with like Space Amoeba, Son of Godzilla, and Gappa, and do like a little triple feature there would be great.
What are the chances that this movie gets remade and say a 2025 sensibility? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Probably not, because that means it's going to look like a MonsterVerse type thing, and I hate it. But if it's more done in like an anime kind of style, like Skull Island was, I'd be interested in that. Or if it was done like a Neo Ultra Q, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I love the design so much because they are of that era.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem, and since that's better than the movie, in my opinion,
Same.
I don't know if I would, because the story's not like unique or different. I don't think there's like, to me, like obviously I'm not somebody that would, you know, that writes screenplays and come with ideas on stuff like that, but like I don't think a modern twist on it necessarily would be anything
too much.
Yeah. But I mean, I would watch it. I'd buy the toy.
I'd definitely buy the toy.
But yeah, I don't know what the right medium would be. I think an anime, actually, Chad, that's a good point. I actually think that would be good. I think they could do some fun stuff with that, because you can kind of control the era and the style and stuff to some degree, more so than if they made it, you know, the CGI.
Right. I don't want to see another.
Make it more retro-y.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just pulled up a reception, some quotes from this is Phil Hardy discusses this movie in his book, and just some of the quotes. The effects are excellent, and the script is worthy of a witty children's comedy.
That's fair.
The human characters are colorless reporters and scientists, and none of the actors is especially appealing.
I agree with the second part. I don't think they're colorless because the one dude's a dick. Like, I hate a guy, but yet he's like the hero. I mean, the mommy and the daddy are the hero, but you know, but like, I just think that is a weird thing. Like, they definitely would have to change the language between the human characters to make it more, you know, modern sensibilities and stuff, because that would not fly.
It would not work.
And good. I'm glad that it wouldn't work. But yeah it's I mean, if you want to, it's a not as good version of Gorgo.
That's exactly how I would say.
Yeah. And it's a witty children's comedy, apparently. And it was called Monster from a Prehistoric Planet for no reason. I love some of the poster art. This is a great poster art one. Some of like the German ones, especially, are really cool. They have some good stuff here. So another nice thing with Gappa. But hey, man, it's everybody go check it out. I think it's on Tubi. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you're like Chaz and you're like, this might be the greatest film ever made. Or if you're like, and he's like, yeah, it's Citizen Kane, Seven Samurai, and Gappa. And but then,
Gotta be a devil's advocate on here.
Yeah, no, right? No, I love it. No, it's great. And I don't know. I wish that we had more toys. That's my other one thing. It's like I hope that on Raku we'll see such huge returns on theirs that we'll get a lot of other people that'll decide to take a chance on Gappa, whoever has the rights. Yeah, Marusan would be. Their Gappas are great. I know because they had the Nito sculpt. I think they used it as well. They're really good stuff.
Can you argue that one of the most recent iterations of it has been in the I'm going blank on the name. You both have the toy Patchy Kaiju Kingu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With him, right?
Hold on. I'm trying to think of what part he is.
He's
not the wings?
Is he not the wings? Is he not one of the? He's not one of the heads, is he?
No.
No, he's not one of the heads.
I mean, mine's right over here, but it's dark. I can't see that. Patchy Kingu. That's okay. We can't leave until we got to understand that. I wish we had the.
Who's the wings?
Rodan, right? Or is it Litra or Rodan? One of those are the wings.
Style. I haven't seen one in person, so I was just guessing.
Let's see. I was like, what's going on here? I wish I had that image that
those are more Rodan like wings, aren't they?
I think they are. There is that one like piece of art they released that has like the Patchy Kingu release that has they describe everything, like what part it's from. But I
Nick Sides posted something. I forget where he posted it, but it had a breakdown of everything. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I don't. If they have something from Gappa on there, then that probably would be the most recent one. But I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm probably wrong, but I guess it'd be the Enraku and Saku then.
Yeah, and that one hasn't released yet. I mean, the lottery was like a long time ago, but it hasn't been released yet, so it's not on the wild because they're like 6 months behind on everything. I mean, we're just getting the 54 Guignol Tower, and the 94 just came out a couple of weeks back. So like, it's not. They're so far behind. I'm the Destroyer. Who the hell knows when that's
Destroyer, man.
Yeah, that
was last G-Fest we were talking about.
Yeah,
who's gonna do one? And now here we go.
Yeah, I mean, Space Godzilla we got them in our shipment for G-Fest in May. And the original ship date was December 31st. So they're 5 months behind. So, but they're doing a lot of cool stuff. So I'm cool. I can wait.
Insanely cool.
I didn't win it anyway. So I was like, I'm let's hurry up and wait, So, yeah. Well, cool guys. Well, thank y'all for coming and hanging out on the island, man. Love it. Love it. Love it. Always love having you guys on there. And I know we talked about a lot of stuff tonight, but most importantly, if you take away from anything from this podcast, guys, it's StarMonkeyGo, StarMonkeyGo, StarMonkeyGo.
Gappa.
Gappa angry. StarMonkeyGo angry. Alrighty, guys. Well, unless you guys have anything else, we will see you later.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having us.